The author starts saying that when he was a kid, his biology teacher told him that all chemicals that make up a human body could be bought in a hardware store for $5. He was wondering, was it true? Are we really worth so little? 59 elements are needed to construct a human being. 6 of these, carbon, oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, calcium, and phosphorus, account for 99.1% of what makes us. But much of the rest is a bit unexpected. We need, for instance, just 20 atoms of cobalt and 30 of chromium for every this large number atoms of everything else. The biggest component in any human, filling 61% of available space, is oxygen. It may seem a touch counterintuitive that we are almost two-thirds composed of an odorless gas. The reason we are not light and bouncy like a balloon is that the oxygen is mostly bound up with hydrogen, which accounts for another 10% of you, to make water. And water, as you will know, if you have ever tried to move a paddling pool or just walked around in really wet clothes, it's surprisingly heavy. It is a little ironic that two of the lightest things in nature, oxygen and hydrogen, when combined form one of the heaviest, but that's nature for you. Oxygen and hydrogen are also two of the cheaper elements within you. All your oxygen will set you back just 8.90 pounds, and your hydrogen a little over 16 pounds. Your nitrogen, 2.6% of you, is better value, still at just 27 pounds for a body's worth. But after that, it gets pretty expensive. You need about 30 pounds of carbon, and that will cost you 44,300 pounds. Calcium, phosphorus, and potassium, though needed in much smaller amounts, would between them set you back a further 47,000 pounds. Most of the rest is even more expensive per unit of volume, but fortunately only needed in microscopic amounts. Thorium costs almost 2,000 pounds per gram, but constitutes just that number percent of you. So you can buy a body's worth for 21 pounds. All the tin you require can be yours for 4 pounds, while zirconium and niobium will cost you just 2 pounds apiece. That percent of you that is samarium isn't apparently worth charging for at all. Of the 59 elements found within you, 24 are traditionally known as essential elements because we really cannot do without them. The rest are something of a mixed bag. Some are clearly beneficial, some may be beneficial, but we are not sure in what ways yet. Others are neither harmful nor beneficial, but are just along for the ride as it were. And a few are just bad news altogether. Cadmium, for instance, is the 23rd most common element in the body, constituting 0.1% of your bulk, but it is seriously toxic. We have it in us not because of our body craves it, but because it gets into plants from the soil and then it gets into us when we eat the plants. If you live in North America, you probably ingest about 80 micrograms of cadmium a day, and no part of it does you any good at all. Pluck almost any cell from your body and it will have 1 million or more selenium atoms in it. Yet, until recently, nobody had any idea what they were there for. We now know that selenium makes two vital enzymes, deficiency in which has been linked to hypertension, arthritis, anemia, some cancers, and even possibly reduced sperm counts. So clearly, it is a good idea to get some selenium inside you. It is found particularly in nuts, whole meat bread, and fish. But at the same time, if you take too much, you can irremediably poison your liver. The full cost of building a new human being would be a very precise that amount of money. No matter what you pay or how carefully you assemble the materials, you're not going to create a new human being. That is unquestionably the most astounding thing about us, that we are just a collection of inner components, the same stuff you would find in a pile of dirt. The only thing special about the elements that make you is that they make you. We pass our existence within this warm oval of flesh and yet take it almost entirely for granted. How many among us know even roughly where the spleen is or what it does, or the difference between tendons and ligaments, or what our lymph nodes are up to? How many times a day do you suppose you blink? 500? 1,000? You have no idea, of course. Well, you blink 14,000 times a day. So many that your eyes are shut for 23 minutes of every waking day. Yet, you never have to think about it because every second of every day, your body undertakes a literally unquantifiable number of tasks. In this second, or since I started this sentence, your body has made 1,000,000 red blood cells. They are already spinning around you, coursing through your veins, keeping you alive. Each of those red blood cells will rattle around you about 150,000 times, repeatedly delivering oxygen to your cells, and then, battered and useless, will present itself to other cells to be quietly killed off for the greater good of you. Altogether, it takes 7 billion atoms to make you. No one can say why those 7 billion atoms have such an urgent desire to be you. They are mindless particles after all. Yet somehow, for the length of your existence, they will build and maintain all the countless systems and structures necessary to keep you humming, to make you you, to give you form and shape and let you enjoy the rare and supremely agreeable condition known as life.
Hi guys, how are you doing? I don't care how are you doing. When I did the exchange, I went to a family's house. The parents gave me this book because they thought that I would like it, and I love it. In case that they watched this video, thank you so much for giving me the book. While I was reading it, I realized that I wanted to study neuroscience and I don't want to be a plastic surgeon anymore. And so thank you so much. And so I like the book so much that I'm gonna do these videos explaining, like literally just reading it. Thank you so much and goodbye.